Introduction. Let's face it, we've all been there. You're sitting across from her, having a good conversation, but it feels like there's a wall between you. She's holding back, and you're wondering, how can I get her to open up? How do I get her to feel comfortable enough to share her thoughts, her feelings, her deepest emotions with me? Throughout this video, I'm going to show you exactly how to create that kind of space, step by step, how to build trust, how to ask the right questions, and how to make her feel comfortable enough to open up and tell you everything she's been keeping inside. You don't need to be a mind reader or have all the answers. It's all about creating the right environment where she feels safe and respected. It's about making sure she knows that when she opens up, she won't be judged or rushed. So, if you've ever wondered how to break through those walls and get her to share her deepest thoughts, you're in the right place. By the end of this video, you'll have the tools you need to help her feel comfortable, heard, and understood. You won't have to worry about whether she's holding something back, because you'll know how to create the kind of connection where she'll want to tell you everything. So, let's dive in and get started on building that deeper, more meaningful connection. Trust me, with these tips, you'll see how easy it can be for her to open up when she feels safe with you. The importance of building trust. When it comes to getting her to open up and share her thoughts and feelings, trust is everything. Without trust, she's not going to feel comfortable enough to reveal her deepest emotions or vulnerabilities. Think about it. If you were in her shoes, would you share something personal with someone you didn't trust? Probably not. Trust is a foundation of any meaningful connection, and it's absolutely essential if you want her to feel safe enough to open up. But here's the thing. Trust doesn't happen overnight. It's built gradually through consistent actions, words, and behaviors that show you're reliable, honest, and genuine. When you demonstrate that you can be trusted, she'll feel more comfortable letting her guard down. This means that over time, she'll be more willing to open up and share things with you that she wouldn't with just anyone. Now, how do you build trust? First, it's important to be consistent. If you say you're going to do something, follow through on it. For example, if you tell her you're going to call her at a certain time or meet her at a specific place, make sure you do it. When your actions match your words, she starts to trust that you mean what you say. If you constantly make promises that you don't keep, it'll be hard for her to believe you, and trust will never develop. Another key factor in building trust is being genuine and authentic. You don't need to pretend to be someone you're not. In fact, pretending will only create a barrier between you two. Women, like anyone, can sense when someone is being fake. Instead, be yourself and let her see the real you. When you're authentic, it signals to her that you're not trying to manipulate or impress her. You're just being honest. And that honesty is what builds trust. One of the most important ways to show trustworthiness is by being a good listener. When she speaks to you, really listen. Pay attention to what she's saying and make sure she feels heard. This means not interrupting her and not turn the conversation back to you right away. If she shares something personal, validate her feelings by saying things like, "That sounds tough," or "I can imagine how that made you feel." This shows that you respect her emotions and are genuinely interested in what she's sharing. Active listening creates an environment where she feels comfortable talking, and trust is strengthened with each conversation. Also, remember that confidentiality is a big part of building trust. If she shares something personal with you, keep it private. Don't go telling your friends, even if it's something small. If she knows you can keep her secrets, she will feel safer and more willing to open up in the future. Just like you wouldn't want someone else spilling your secrets, she'll appreciate the respect you give her by keeping her trust intact. Another way to build trust is by being empathetic, showing that you understand and care about how she feels. For instance, if she's going through something challenging, you don't need to offer immediate solutions unless she asks for them. Sometimes just saying, "I'm really sorry you're going through this," or "I can't imagine how tough this must be for you," is all it takes. Your ability to show compassion, without rushing to fix things, will make her feel more at ease in sharing her deeper thoughts and feelings with you. Trust is also about patience. If she's not ready to open up right away, that's okay. Pushing her to share too much too soon can backfire. Instead, show her that you're there for her at her own pace, and that you'll be ready to listen whenever she's ready to talk. For example, if she's going through something tough, instead of constantly asking, "What's wrong? Why won't you tell me?" Let her know that you're available when she feels ready. Whenever you're ready to talk, I'm here for you. So, to wrap it up, trust is a cornerstone of any great relationship. Without it, she'll never feel comfortable enough to share her deepest emotions with you. But by being consistent, authentic, and empathetic, and by showing that you can be trusted with her feelings, you're laying the groundwork for open, honest conversations. The more trust you build, the more likely she is to open up to you, share her thoughts, and eventually tell you everything she's been keeping inside. Create a comfortable, non-judgmental environment. One of the most crucial elements in getting her to open up is creating a comfortable, non-judgmental environment. Think about it. If you're going to ask someone to share their deepest thoughts and feelings, they need to feel safe. They need to know that whatever they say will be met with acceptance and understanding, not criticism or judgment. If she feels like she might be judged or criticized for what she shares, she'll hold back. The first step in creating this environment is to be non-reactive. When she shares something with you, it's important not to react in a way that might make her feel uncomfortable or self-conscious. This means resisting the urge to gasp, raise your eyebrows, or offer strong reaction to what she says. For example, if she opens up about something difficult, like a past experience or a personal challenge, don't immediately express shock or surprise. Instead, keep your facial expressions neutral and open, and focus on showing empathy. A good way to make her feel comfortable is to keep your body language relaxed. When you're physically relaxed, it helps create a calm atmosphere, and it shows her that you're not tense or anxious about the conversation. For example, sit comfortably, lean in slightly but not too much, and maintain eye contact without staring. Avoid crossing your arms or looking away from her, as these can give off the impression that you're disinterested or closed off. When your body language is open and non-threatening, it helps her feel more at ease. Another key element in a non-judgmental environment is avoiding interruptions. It can be tempting to jump in with your own thoughts or solutions, especially if she's sharing something you've experienced or have an opinion on. But if you interrupt, even with the best intentions, it can make her feel like you're not really listening. Instead, give her the space to speak fully. Let her finish her thoughts before responding. When you do this, you show her that you respect her words and that you care enough to listen all the way through. Validation is essential in making her feel comfortable. Validation isn't about agreeing with everything she says, but it's about acknowledging her feelings and experiences. For instance, if she shares something personal, instead of jumping to conclusions or offering advice right away, say something like, "I can see why you'd feel that way," or "That sounds really tough." This lets her know that you're not dismissing her feelings and that you recognize her experiences as valid. Validation helps to create a safe emotional space where she feels supported and heard. Avoid making comparisons. When she's sharing something personal, resist the temptation to compare her experience to your own. While you might want to empathize by sharing a similar story, it's better to let her have the floor. When you compare her experience to yours, it can feel like you're trying to shift the focus away from her. For example, if she tells you about a stressful situation at work, instead of saying, "Oh, I had the same thing happen to me last year," try saying, "That must have been really stressful for you." Let her feel heard without turning the conversation back to you. Respect her pace. Not everyone is ready to open up all at once, and that's okay. If she's hesitant or not yet willing to share, don't push. Pushing her too hard will only create discomfort and make her less likely to open up in the future. Instead, let her take the lead. You can gently ask questions or offer support, but give her the time and space she needs to feel ready. If she says, "I'm not ready to talk about it yet," respect that and let her know that you're there when she's ready. Acknowledging her boundaries shows her that you respect her and her feelings. Lastly, remember to stay positive and supportive. While you should be empathetic to her struggles, it's important to keep a hopeful and uplifting tone when appropriate. Acknowledge the challenges she's faced, but also remind her of her strength. For example, if she talks about a tough time she's had, you might say, "It sounds like you've been through a lot, but I'm really impressed by how strong you are." This encouragement helps her feel validated and empowered, making her more likely to continue sharing with you. Ask open-ended questions. One of the best ways to get her to open up is by asking open-ended questions. These are questions that require more than just a yes or no answer. They invite her to share more about what's going on in her mind and heart. Open-ended questions allow for deeper conversations. And when you ask the right ones, you create space for her to express her thoughts and emotions without feeling rushed or judged. So, what exactly are open-ended questions? Well, these are questions that begin with words like how, what, or tell me about. These questions don't have a simple or quick answer. They encourage her to think and reflect on her experiences. Let's look at a couple of examples. Closed-ended question. Did you have a good day? Open-ended question. What was the best part of your day? See the difference? The first question can easily be answered with a yes or no, and it doesn't give her a chance to go into detail. But the second question invites her to share more about her day. She might tell you about a specific moment, a person she met, or an accomplishment, and you'll get a deeper insight into her experience. Why are open-ended questions so effective? They allow her to share more than just surface-level information. These questions show her that you're genuinely interested in knowing more, and they give her the space to express what's really going on in her life. When you ask these kind of questions, it signals to her that you want to understand her on a deeper level, not just make small talk. For example, imagine she's telling you about a stressful situation at work. Instead of asking, "Are you stressed?" which can be answered with a simple yes or no, you could ask, "How did that situation make you feel?" Or, "What was the most challenging part of it for you?" These open-ended questions invite her to share the details of the experience and reflect on her emotions. She's more likely to open up and let you in on how she really feels. You can also use open-ended questions to explore her thoughts about certain topics. If she's passionate about something, you might ask, "What's something you've always wanted to do but haven't had the chance yet?" Or, "What inspires you the most in life?" These kind of questions give her an opportunity to talk about her dreams, aspirations, and what makes her excited. Not only does this give you a better understanding of her, but it also shows her that you care about what matters to her. Another important aspect of open-ended questions is that they encourage reflection. For example, if she's going through a tough time, instead of asking, "Are you okay?" you could ask, "What's been the hardest part for you lately?" Or, "How are you coping with everything?" These questions give her a chance to think deeply about her feelings and share what's truly bothering her. You're allowing her to take control of the conversation. And by doing so, she's more likely to feel comfortable and open with you. It's also important to ask follow-up questions after she shares something. This shows that you're actively listening and that you care about what she's saying. For example, if she talks about a difficult experience, instead of jumping in with your own opinion or changing the subject, ask, "How did you handle that?" Or, "What did you learn from that experience?" This allows her to dive deeper into her thoughts and emotions, giving her the space to open up even more. Remember, open-ended questions are all about encouraging her to express herself. They help you move past surface-level conversations and get to know her in a more meaningful way. You're not just trying to fill the silence with simple questions. You're creating a dialogue that allows her to explore and share what's important to her. This not only makes the conversation more engaging, but also builds a stronger connection between the two of you. To sum up, asking open-ended questions is one of the most effective ways to get her to open up and share her thoughts and feelings with you. By asking questions that encourage her to reflect, express herself, and share her emotions, you create an environment where she feels safe and heard. So next time you're talking to her, try asking more open-ended questions and see how the conversation flows. You'll be amazed at how much more she's willing to share. Practice active listening. One of the most powerful ways to get her to open up and share her thoughts and feelings with you is by practicing active listening. Active listening is more than just hearing the words she's saying. It's about being fully present in the conversation, showing that you're engaged and responding in ways that make her feel heard and valued. When you listen actively, you create a safe space for her to share what's truly on her mind, and that's exactly what you need if you want her to open up. Let's start by talking about what active listening actually is. It's not just sitting there while she talks and waiting for your turn to speak. Active listening means that you're genuinely focused on her words, emotions, and body language. It's about being involved in conversation in a way that shows her you care about what she's saying and that you're not just listening for the sake of responding. It's a deeper level of engagement than casual listening, and it makes all the difference in getting her to open up. Now, how do you practice active listening? The first step is to give her your full attention. This might sound obvious, but it's easy to get distracted during a conversation. Maybe your phone is buzzing or there's something else on your mind. But if you're not fully present in the moment, she'll pick up on that, and it might make her feel like you're not genuinely interested in what she's saying. To practice active listening, put down the phone, make eye contact, and really focus on her. This simple step shows her that she has your undivided attention, and it encourages her to share more. Another key part of active listening is nonverbal communication. Your body language says a lot about how engaged you are in the conversation. For example, when she's speaking, make sure to face her, lean in slightly without invading her personal space, and nod occasionally to show that you're following along. These small gestures communicate to her that you're paying attention and that you care about what she's saying. Avoid crossing your arms or looking around the room, as these signals can make you seem disinterested or closed off. Reflecting and summarizing what she said is another way to show that you're actively listening. After she shares something, you can repeat it back to her in your own words, which shows that you've understood her and gives her a chance to clarify if needed. For example, if she talks about a stressful day at work, you could say, "It sounds like you've been dealing with a lot of pressure at work. That must be tough." This shows her that you've been paying attention and that you understand the emotions behind her words. It also encourages her to continue the conversation because she knows you're not just hearing her, but you're really trying to understand her perspective. A big part of active listening is also asking thoughtful follow-up questions. When you ask questions that dig deeper into what she's sharing, it shows her that you're interested in her experience and that you want to know more. For example, if she shares that she's been feeling overwhelmed, instead of simply saying, "Oh, that's too bad," you might ask, "What's been the hardest part for you?" Or, "How have you been coping with all of that?" These questions encourage her to talk more about her feelings and give you a better understanding of what she's going through. It's a great way to show her that you're not just waiting to talk, but that you're genuinely curious and concerned about her well-being. Another important part of active listening is giving her space to express herself without interrupting. It's easy to jump in with your thoughts, advice, or solutions, but when you interrupt, it can make her feel like you're not fully hearing her. Sometimes, people just want to be listened to, not immediately fixed. When you allow her to finish her thoughts before responding, it gives her the opportunity to fully express herself, and it shows her that you respect what she's saying. If you find that you're tempted to interrupt, remind yourself that the goal is to listen first, not to solve the problem right away. Finally, showing empathy is a crucial part of active listening. Empathy is the ability to understand and share in her feelings. When you empathize with her, you show her that you're not just hearing the words she's saying, but that you're feeling what she's feeling. For instance, if she shares something that's upsetting, you might say, "I can only imagine how difficult that must be for you," or "It must have been really hard to go through that." By empathizing with her, you let her know that you're not only paying attention, but you truly care about her emotions. This deepens a connection and makes her more likely to open up. Be patient and don't rush her. One of the most important things you can do to get her open up is to be patient and not rush her. This might sound simple, but it's one of the most overlooked aspects of deepening a conversation. We often feel the pressure to get answers quickly or to move on to the next topic, but rushing her or pushing for more than she's ready to share can have the opposite effect. Instead of feeling comfortable and safe, she may feel pressured or overwhelmed, and that can make her close up even more. The truth is, everyone opens up at their own pace. Getting someone to truly open up to you isn't about tricks. It's about creating a safe, trusting space where they feel heard, valued, and respected. In this video, we'll cover step by step how to build that kind of environment so she feels comfortable sharing her deepest thoughts and emotions with you. 1. Build trust. Without trust, real communication doesn't happen. Be consistent, reliable, and genuine. Show her that her feelings are safe with you and that you're not just listening for the sake of responding. You're there because you truly care. 2. Create a comfortable, non-judgmental space. Make her feel free to speak without fear of being judged. That starts with being non-reactive. When she shares something personal, avoid gasping showing shock, or immediately offering solutions. Instead, stay calm, keep open body language, and focus on empathy. Sit comfortably, lean in slightly, and maintain relaxed eye contact. Avoid crossing your arms or looking distracted. Don't interrupt. Let her finish her thoughts before you respond. Validation is key here. You don't need to agree with everything she says, but acknowledge her feelings. I can see why you feel that way. That sounds really tough. This shows respect, support, and understanding. 3. Ask open-ended questions. Open-ended questions encourage her to reflect and share beyond yes or no. Instead of, did you have a good day? Try, what was the best part of your day? These questions let her express her thoughts, dreams, and emotions more fully. They also show genuine interest and keep the focus on her. Examples. What's something you've always wanted to try but haven't yet? How did that situation make you feel? What's been the hardest part for you lately? Follow up when she shares. Ask, how did you handle that? What did you take away from that experience? This proves you're listening and want to understand her perspective deeply. 4. Practice active listening. Active listening goes beyond hearing words. It's about being fully present. Put away distractions like your phone. Use body language. Nod, face her directly, and lean in slightly. Reflect back what she said. It sounds like you've been under a lot of pressure at work. That must be tough. This shows you understand not only her words, but also the emotions behind them. And remember, don't interrupt or jump to solutions. Often, people don't want fixing. They want to feel heard. 5. Be patient. Don't rush her. Everyone opens up at their own pace. Some share quickly. Others take time. Forcing or pressuring her will only make her close off. If she says, I'm not ready to talk about that, respect it. Respond with something like, that's okay. Take your time. I'll be here when you're ready. Don't fill every silence. Sometimes quiet moments give her space to gather courage to open up. Avoid rushing to fix problems. Instead of offering instant solutions, acknowledge her emotions first. Patience shows that you respect her boundaries and value her as a person, not just what she shares. Conclusion. To recap, build trust through consistency and authenticity. Create a safe, non-judgmental space where she feels free to express herself. Ask open-ended questions that spark deeper conversation. Practice active listening so she knows you're present and engaged. Be patient. Don't push her open up before she's ready. When you combine these, you create an environment of trust, respect, and understanding. Over time, she'll naturally feel more comfortable opening up to you. Closing, Side. If you found this video helpful, hit the like button, subscribe for more relationship advice, and share it with someone who could benefit from it. And let me know in the comments, what's your best tip for helping someone open up? Thanks for watching. Remember, building a strong connection starts with patience, presence, and always listening.